Some of us were with Jesus from the early days of his ministry. At that time, he didn't draw a lot of attention to his power. Whenever he healed someone, he told them to go to the priests and make an offering and according to the law, rather than going and telling a bunch of people about what had happened. That final week, though, things really changed. When he rode into Jerusalem on that donkey, the people were all shouting, "Hosanna to the King and glory to the Son of David." He went into the table and threw over the tables of the merchants, saying, "My Father's house should be a house of prayer, and you've turned it into a den of thieves." He even raised Lazarus from the dead. We started wondering, is this really happening? Is he really going to make a claim to the throne of Israel? But then he started talking about dying. We were so confused. Just a few days earlier, he had been riding triumphantly into Jerusalem, and now he was saying he would be killed. I said I would follow him anywhere and even lay down my life for him. And he looked right at me and said, "Peter, tonight, before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times. I was stunned, and of course I denied it. But he was right. When the men came to take Jesus, we all ran away. I followed at a distance, but when I came to the courtyard, a servant girl asked if I was one of his followers. I said, "No, I'm not." A bit later, I was warming myself by the fire when some of the people asked if I was one of his disciples. Again, I said, "I am not." Then one of the men there said, "Didn't I see you in the garden with him? You even sound like a Galilean." I swore, "I don't know him." And then the rooster crowed. And I ran off and cried like a baby. Sometime later, after the resurrection, I went out fishing, and some of the other disciples came with me. We spent all night and got nothing. But Jesus called from the shore for us to cast off our nets on the other side of the boat. There were so many fish we could barely draw them in. While we were eating, Jesus said, "Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me more than these?" I said, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." He said, "Feed my lambs." A second time he asked me, "Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me?" And I said, "Yes, Lord, you know I love you." And he said, "Feed my sheep." When he asked me a third time, I was hurt. I said, "Lord, you know all things. You know I love you." He just said, "Feed my lambs." Then I realized I had denied him 3 times, and he had just forgiven me 3 times, and he had called me back into his service.